times we did. Struggled a little bit at times in the red area. Gave up some big pass plays that we don't want to see on defense. So I think all around there's moments of improvement for our team. I think our guys are hungry to improve. That being said, we're going to build off of this one and keep growing.
Questions right here. Start on the right with James.
Yeah, that was the most yards Cal has ever allowed under Justin. Just what was about the offense today that you guys were, even when you were stopped inside the red zone, you were still that productive, over 8 yards of play, 600 yards of offense.
I think it's hard to stop our team right now when we're consistent and operating at a high level, regardless of really who the opponent is. And again, when we did get stopped, it was really more so us stopping ourselves.
Front center, Eric.
What did you see from the defense there? Obviously, a couple of late scores you probably like back, but up until that score in the second team pretty good.
Yeah, regardless who's in, our standard really doesn't change. And we didn't finish the game we wanted to finish, right? I think in the first half they had 8 yards rushing, so that was nice to be able to choke out one side of the ball. We gave up a big pass. I would have loved to see us carry that over into the second half. We did at times. I think we were much better on third down. I don't know what the final count was. But that's somewhere where we've been looking to have some improvement. I think we did a better job there. But we have to continue to keep playing better ball and be more consistent throughout an entire game.
Front left, Max.
Coach, you mentioned that you're learning more about your team with each week. 7 straight wins now, but you got to take it 1 week at a time. What was kind of your biggest takeaway from this win for you guys?
Yeah, just that we haven't seen our best yet. I was hoping that this would be a game that we could walk away and see our best, and we haven't seen it yet. I'm excited to see where we can go, but we have to tap into that, and it's a choice that we have to make, right? And hopefully that'll carry over into the future.
Front right, Rob.
So you took a couple possessions to really find some rhythm, started clicking. But Bo, obviously a hugely productive day. Just the job he did to kind of lead your guys through some of the early stuff and then really get you guys going.
Yeah, I think Bo did a good job today, but I think if you ask Bo right now, he'd say he can perform better, right? And I think our entire team probably feels that way. There's some moments that we could play at a higher level. I'd go back and watch the film and see if there were any ball in jeopardy plays for us, what our decision-making looked like. Bo's been really consistent, a really good player all year. I think that he'll come away from this performance saying he wants to do better than he did.
Front right, James.
And we said in the passing game, Dan, when 7 doesn't travel, when Troy goes down at one point briefly, and when Chase goes down for basically 50-plus minutes, you still have over 400 yards passing when your receiving corps was impacted today. Say about the depth of the rest of the group. You went to tight ends, you went to running backs, and you still have that many more options.
Yeah, we feel good about the players that we have on this trip. We have some guys that can play ball, and just because there's a good player in front of them doesn't mean the guy behind them can't. So I think it's a positive to see that they're in rhythm and sequence. We got to continue to get in a better rhythm and sequence, probably a little bit faster with those guys.
Front middle, Eric.
How did you feel the pass rush was, and I guess just in particular, Keanu playing more snaps, seemed like he was pretty impactful at times.
Yeah, I have to go back and watch it. It looked like we were, able to be in the backfield at times tonight, and want to see that, continue in the future. We thought that coming in this game we'd be able to do that.
Back left, Matt.
Dan, do you think the running backs would be this active in the passing game? I think Dollars, Bucky, Whittington all had over 50 yards receiving, maybe even 60. Just pretty effective from those guys.
Yeah, we felt like this is a game that we could get the ball to our backs out of the backfield, and ultimately we were looking to take some shots, and I thought that's where Bo made some good decisions in taking the check down.
Middle right, Bill.
Dan, is the takeaway for you that you guys were able to overcome kind of that sluggish start, the early miscues, and still perform at the high level you did, or are those miscues things that you will hold on to and are kind of maybe warnings for you?
I don't know that I would have interpreted it either way. Ultimately, what I'd say is that I know we can play better than we played today, right? And that's what I walk away with is, okay, let's go focus on what we can play better. I don't look at it as an overcome, not overcome. We have to prepare ourselves to play better ball down the stretch, and we did that at times. I don't want people to come away and think that I'm not excited about a win. I'm glad we won the game. I still think that we can play better than we did.
Second row here in the middle.
Kyle Wanager with ESPN. How would you measure your own growth as a head coach on game day from game one to here today, and kind of where is the most? Where do you think you're better?
I'm learning a ton every single week. I think there's still a lot more for me to learn, right? And a lot more opportunities for growth. So I don't know that I pick one thing that I've gotten better at. I think I'm coming around in a lot of areas, but there's still a lot more room for growth.
Front left, Max.
Coach, whether it was Maliki, Terrence, or Patrick getting his first touchdown, the tight ends really had it going today. Just how effective does that make your offense when all those guys are able to really pitch in?
I'll tell you what I like to talk about. I like to talk about how that group of men really love each other, right? And they're unselfish, and sometimes it's their turn, sometimes it's not. They know when a certain guy comes on the field or comes off that play's designed for them. You never hear a complaint from that group. I know every one of them would love to touch the ball every snap, right? But you never ever hear anything otherwise. And the fact, I think you could see how excited our tight ends were when Pat scored that touchdown last week when Cam scored his. You know, that's a group that's really unselfish, that likes to see other people have success, and that's what I'm really proud of with that group.
Back row here on the right.
Coach, what did it mean for team morale having Stephen Jones being so involved on the sideline even though he wasn't suited up today?
Yeah, we're anxious, you know, for Steven to make an impact in this team in whatever way he can. And obviously, we'd love to have him back out there on the field, but the energy, one of the things we talked about before this game started is how are you going to be able to impact this game when the ball's not in your hands, right? Or when you're not making that tackle. I think Steven was able to impact this game by being on the sideline and being a great coach.
James.
Any initial word on Chase and just what the severity is?
I haven't heard yet. No, I don't know. I have to wait to get feedback there.
In the back row.
Well, it seemed like he was running a lot today. Obviously, he's typically good about getting down, but what's sort of your preference of, him just getting rid of the ball towards him taking off for more yards?
Yeah, it just depends on the sequence of the game. If it's the end of the game, I love that he has a winning attitude. He has to be smart, at times.
Middle, Eric.
You have a couple of things, usually you have a couple of things you really want to work on. Are there any coming off the field today that you think really stand out to you?
Pre-snap penalties, finishing in the red area, shot plays on defense, substitution patterns on defense. There's a lot of things that I walked away with that I think we can do a better job of, and we will get better at.
Back row left, Matt.
What do you think of Bo making the simple play, maybe not trying to do the impossible play?
I think when he's done that this year, that's when he's been his best.
Second row right here.
Levi Berthold, KWBA Sports. Coach, obviously coming off a big win, there's always some concern about coming out a little flat. What was the message to the team throughout the week, and how did you feel that they responded coming off a big win into this game?
Humble and hungry, right? We wanted to come into this game, focused on who was here at the beginning with us, not who came in afterwards, right? And the reality is, we talked about after game one that really all of our goals are in front of us, and we want to continue to approach it that way and keep growing and getting better. And I think there's some things we got better at today, but overall there's still some things that we can definitely improve.
Here on the left, Max.
Coach, we saw Chris Hudson pretty involved today. I know Bo went over to him after he dropped that pass in the first half. Just wanted to get some of your thoughts on his growth this season as a receiver and his involvement in the offense.
Yeah, I trust Chris. I think he's done a really good job for us. He did a good job in the return game, for us today as well. Caught the ball well. Obviously that one he'd love to have back, but that's going to happen sometimes, and you got to grow back and go back to the next play.
On the right, James.
Talked for several weeks now about third down improvement, 4 for 15 on the day. I know they got a couple of fourth downs, one was very late, but your thoughts as a whole on how you performed on third down defense?
I think there was good and bad. Certainly some positive. Obviously the takeaways were big positives for us. I think we had a third down takeaway there that was big. I want to go back and watch the film and evaluate it.
Last question, Eric.
He's been so successful on fourth down offensively, a couple of mishaps, and anything to take away from that?
It's probably good for that to happen to us, right? We probably got humbled a little bit, and it's an opportunity for us to go work at it and see if we can move the pile on the next team.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.